I don't know if anyone's here yet. I'm going to send out my tweet. All right. Hello. Can you hear me now? So if you're watching the recording, hello, hello, hello. I'm just waiting for people to arrive at my live stream. We'll see. I'm running a little late, so I am sure they will arrive shortly. Well, I'm an hour late for my usual time, but I switched it because I had to run a quick errand that couldn't wait until after my stream. So just getting my watercolor paper ready here. Okay. I've got my photo printed, ready to, oh, looks like I need some more. That's okay. This is just for tracing anyway, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter that I'm running out of ink or my things need fixed, cleaned. There we are. Hello, Judy. Hello, Dar. Hello, hello. I tweeted, so people should be coming soon. All right. Let's see here. I'm not sure what I'm going to use because I don't think I have a board large enough. Oh, I bet my book will work. Hold on. Oh, and I need to find my, gosh, I apologize. Live and in real life, and I thought it was ready, but my little turntable's not where it's supposed to be. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Oh, there it is. Okay, well, it's sold on Amazon for a light box, but I use it. Let's see if this is large enough or not. No, it's not. But I think my book is. Or actually, I have a, one moment, I'm going to have a little paper avalanche here in a minute. Oh, sorry, I was turned away from the mic. It should fit on this, I hope. Oh, put the last one on the wrong way. Wow, it's really sticky when it sticks to each other. Hello, Mindy. Hello, Annie. Hello, Dorothy. But I had to run out and run an errand and do a couple things before I got going. There we go. I'll just put it around the edge of my book here. It's not quite big enough. Hold on. Just a minute. I've got a large paper pad. Make it work better. Except I don't know why it won't come off. There we go. Gee whiz. I just need something to put it on. That's a work surface. I do have a drawing board, but it's a little too big for my area that I have here at the moment, the way I have my desk set up. So I am going to have to fix that. Oh, I have it cut quite a bit bigger than I need to, but that's okay. I'll just turn it over. As long as I have it attached on one side, that's all that matters. This is Arches, 140 pounds that I cut from a, 22 by 30 sheet. So I cut it so I could paint an 11 by 14. And I have my photo printed in 11 by 14. Had a deal. If you bought 10 of the 140 pound Arches watercolor paper, it was like, I think what, $5.99 each, I think. Yeah, $5.99 each instead of $7.99 or something like that. So, hey Sharon. Hi Eileen. Hi Helen. Hi to Joan. Hello Joan. So I started doing this picture. You can see it right here. Oops, sorry. My man, I'm not looking backwards. You can see it right here. And I started doing it in my watercolor journal by, starts with P, which is nice paper. It's 140 pound paper, but it's not. Oh, now I have to figure out how this goes together. That one goes there. Okay. All right. And this one goes here. All right. So in order to cut it so that to print it so that it goes to 11 by 14, I take it into Adobe Photoshop, create an 11 by 14 project. Then I save it as a PDF, and you open it in your Adobe Acrobat Reader. Oh, shoot, I need to cut these ones off too. And then you choose poster as your printout and add 100% size, and it will pages for you exactly how you need it. And now I just need some regular tape. Hi, Sophia. I'm just getting started. I'm late and I'm still not. I wanted to have this all ready, but that didn't happen. So now I'm pasting together my print. Oh, for heaven's sakes. I did that wrong too. Dang it all. One moment, please. I dropped it on the floor. I have to go under the desk, just like Dee Dee. Please excuse the shadow. That's my door. And I don't go under the desk quite as easily as Dee Dee does. Excuse the head. Okay. And let's line this up. Got to cut this one. Excuse me. So, welcome to Music Scrap, the musical scrapper. It is a beautiful, sunny with cloudy periods day here on the east coast of Canada. It was very humid on Sunday and Monday here. And luckily, well, that's silly. All right. I cut off the wrong sides. 1 moment, please. Need to do a little surgery here. I didn't set it. That's what you get for being in a hurry, being late. Okay. Let's get it going here. Doesn't have to be perfect, just enough to give you your lines there. So true. So true, Helen. Well, it's 11 by 14, Joan. Never know. It may be in my purchase, but not for a while because I just bought myself an iPad Pro. Well, that's true, Marie. I don't ever get all the way down because if I do, I'm in trouble. All right. You can tape it on the back if you want, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to use graphite paper to trace this onto my page. Now, the reason I'm tracing it is because I started doing it last time, trying to just draw it myself. But there are just so many spots when you're doing glass. It's to make it look realistic. It's important that you get your highlights in a good spot and that each piece has highlights so that it actually looks like the light's coming from the same source or the same sources. Sometimes there's more than one source of light. And I didn't do a very good job of it last time trying to do it myself. I got the proportions all wrong. I got the highlights in the wrong spot. So I said, plus I didn't like the paper I was doing it on. You have to have good paper that allows for decent a little scrubbing in order to do glass. And once you've done 100% cotton paper, my first glass on, I just did on 25% cotton paper by Fabriano, which was okay because I hadn't tried the cotton paper yet. And actually, it's still not really bad. It's still better than 100% cellulose paper that I've tried. And there may be better 100% paper, but the ones I have are great if you're doing a like quick sketching, or even a landscape would be fine in my journal that I tried this in. So, but it just wasn't working for my glass, and I was not happy at all. So the video for that is on, it is on YouTube. But yeah, I'm not happy at all with it. So I'm starting the whole painting over again, this time on my arches, 140 pound, 100% cotton paper. And get my graphite paper out while I'm there. While I'm here. Okay. Need to make sure some of my graphite papers are small because I cut them up for a painting class that I did with some ladies. Hey, Dee Dee. Oh no, you got put in timeout, Dee Dee, already? Oh dear. Now, the only thing for me doing this is I always end up with silly smears on my paper because I always end up resting my hand. All right, so I'm going to cut this down because I don't need this much. This is not carbon paper. It is graphite paper. I bought it, I think, can't remember if I bought it on Amazon or on Desairs, but probably Desairs, which is an art store here in Canada. There we go. Now I have a good size for my 11 by 14 paintings, and this will last quite a while. I'll mark it with a blue piece of tape. I'll leave a blue piece of tape on it so I'll know it's my 11 by 14 size. Okay. Judy, you tease. Oh, I've got my fan on and my paper's blowing away. Oh, there I go. Sure, Jean. And I'll just put one piece down on this end. This is the prep work. It takes time, people. I do in real time videos. Although I did mean to have this part ready, but that's life. I don't go out very often, but I do have to. It always seems to be on stream days that I have errands that I have to do. And I was going to get my prescription yesterday and to do it today. So okay. I am, Dee Dee, 11.5 by 14, or I mean 11 by 14 today. We'll see. We'll see. I just thought I would try an 11 by 14 today. See what happens. All right. Now I need a good pen. I'll use my black gel pen because I think it has a good tip. All right, so what I'm going to do is trace the basic shape of the bowls. These are Murano glass bowls, which is an Italian glass. Whoops. As you can see, I can't even trace very well, let alone draw. I gotta practice my drawing. But that is for another day. Now, when I have a glow like this, when I am tracing, I like to do it just slightly larger, and I put in a little bit larger amount of masking fluid than the size of the sparkle, so that when I'm done, I can take the masking fluid off, and then I can soften up the edges, and it leaves me enough space to soften the edge. So the thing is, the way this glass is cut, there are lots of different shapes within the shape of the bowl, lots of different colors. Okay. And I'm not going to draw each color shape. I'm just going to cut. I am just going to trace the cut shapes. Because those are very important in this picture. Cuts of the glass. Because there's round. That's a good question, Dee Dee. Not sure I can answer it because I've never really seen any differently. But I do know that color differentiation is extremely important for me seeing well. So, for example, on my iPhone and my iPad, my batteries don't last very long because I have to have it on almost the brightest setting in order for me to see even as well as I do. I also have to have the type. Oh, that didn't even go in the slot. It's supposed to. So I know that like color and lights and darks of colors really do make a difference. It's one of the reasons why, and it has changed just like for everybody. My eyes are changing with old age. But what it has meant for me as far as reading is that unless the book has, large print, white paper and dark print, it is very difficult for me to read a book. So if I do have a book I want to read, I usually do it on my iPad, get the Kindle version. Okay, I think I've got all the lines. I'm just going to check to make sure my pen, is doing the lines dark enough, and it is, because I don't want to go and do the whole page and then not have it dark enough yet. Hey, Katrina, nice to see you. Hi, Norma. So, okay. I may have to put on my, this one did not print very well, but I don't think there's many shapes here that, not like this one. I'll check on my iPad though and see, as long as I can get my bright ones where I need to put my masking fluid, I'm good. Oh, Jean, you're leaning too hard. Ugh. So, like I said, when you're doing glass, it is important that you get to make it look realistic. And I love doing it. And I seem to, and maybe it's part of me because I love geometry. I love shapes. So that could be one reason why I'm so good at doing glass, because visually I am good at seeing shapes. And that's very important with glass. There's a kind of a foggy spot there. So I'm going to have to put some masking fluid here. And there's another line right here. Then we see some of the red glass here, and then more of the green. Okay. All right, I think that's all I need in that one. So I'm going to turn it upside down to do this other green one here. By the way, if you need me to... Hi, Diane! Okay, bye-bye. Oh, thanks for dropping in, Diane. I'm sorry I was late starting. I apologize. So Dee Dee, my iPad has now arrived in Canada. It's coming from Tennessee. It's very strange. I don't know why they wouldn't have it in stock in Toronto, but anyway, it has arrived in Mississauga, so it's going through customs. Woohoo! On its way. Supposed to get it Monday. And I ordered the Apple Pen while I was at it because I get an education discount, so I figured it's like getting the pen for free with the money I saved on my iPad. I just got the 10.5 inch. I didn't get the larger one because I can make the print larger and I want it small enough to go in my purse. Oh, Dorothy, don't get out your copper stick. Oh, gosh. You didn't want me sitting here without my meds. Because first of all, without my allergy meds, my nose would be dripping and I'd be sniffling even worse than I am. Oops. And sneezing. So for those of you who are new to my stream and our little group, our community moved over from Ustream because as of August 1st, Ustream is no longer going to have live streaming. But of us have known each other 8, 7, 6 years over there on Ustream. So we're like family. So if it sounds like there are inside jokes, there are. But it's just because, it's not because we want to keep you out of it. If you want to know what the joke is, ask. Someone will explain it. Unlike a lot of the YouTube live people so far is very often they are instructional, professional, instructional type videos. And that is not what we are all about in our group. Yes, we art, but we're more about just sharing our art, giving other people a place to come and hang out. So it's more like a hangout than a class. And that is what we have always been about in our little community. But we always welcome new people. And you know that because when I first found Dee Dee had done maybe 2 or 3 streams before I found. And now even more that we've come to YouTube. So welcome to our community. But just as a little caveat so that you know, because someone was in one of our streams. I can't remember. It doesn't matter whose. But one person in our group was streaming. Dorothy get her live stream working with Manicam. And she was having terrible trouble. So I was giving her some technical advice. And someone in the chat was like, why are you talking about so much technical stuff in the chat? Isn't this art or something like that? Yes, it is. But I was trying to help Dorothy, and we are a community where we help each other, and it happened to be where we all were at the moment. So our chat is not just about what's happening on screen. Keep it polite is all I ask. But oh man, you should see the topics that sometimes happen in chat. Very interesting. We always talk about food somewhere along the way. Oh, I'm going to have to erase out that line. That was silly, Jean. It's right through a light part. Okay. Just drawing in the reflections now. Okay, I don't want to draw that one in because that's too light. I'll have to guesstimate that one. There's not a dark enough spot to hide the pencil line, so I'll probably end up taking off some of the graphite once I get it drawn in so that I don't have too dark lines to try and hide. While to get these set up and going. And there's another place where I'm going to have to add some. This is going to take quite a bit of masking here. Hold on. All right, there's a little bright spot right there, so I should put that in so I don't accidentally. Oh, there's another shape here I need to put in. This part of the bowl. Okay, before I take it off completely, I'm gonna flip it here and check and see what I got. Oh. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Elaine. Eleni. I'm not quite sure which is right. Oh, bye, Eileen. See you later. Oops. Looks good. There we go. So I'm using Minicam, so you can see in the inset what I'm painting right there. And I'm going to leave these pieces of blue tape here so that I know think my other ones have either nothing or green tape on them. And smaller ones. All right. And I did find my swatch card for my palette. It was in my palette just underneath my other part. I can go to my files I have on my Mac and wakey wakey. Oh, that's loading. All right, masking fluid. Masking fluid time. Now I'm going to spritz my paint. I've got my paints here still in my palette from when I was doing this painting before. So, M-grams I'm using. So, in case you haven't seen me previously, I have discovered that in order to help get a really good glow on glass when you're painting oranges and greens and yellows or golds, use lemon yellow as your first layer. Now, you can also use it on top layers if you lose some of the glow, but got myself a new, then not enough. Also, those places where I kind of leaned my hand a little too much. Like over here, I obviously was a little generous with my pen. Wait. I don't like too much pencil to show through. If it's a really dark spot, it's easier to hide it, but oh no, Dot. Huggies, unscented. Don't get the toddler ones. They're too soapy. But Huggies unscented, Jillian. They're the best. I put a little alizarin crimson in my masking fluid. This is graphics. I did have, when I started using masking fluid, I had the Winsor & Newton. And I didn't really like it that much at all. And no, it wasn't the permanent one. It was the removable stuff. I actually ended up throwing out my bottle after just a couple of uses. I just have a little cap from a pop bottle here. A little too much, Jean. To start with, I can always add more. I don't want it tipping over the edge. I do have a larger cap too. I don't know where it went. It used to be on my little roundabout here. Okay, where is my... All right, I think I need the large one here today. Oh, Sharon asked a question. I missed it. Sharon. Oh, Jean. Sharon, have a question. Would a light box be hard for me to use? Actually, you know, I can't. I found on my hand. I wasn't even thinking. I should have used my light box. Duh. Would have been just as easy. With the 300-pound watercolor paper, I can't use the light box. The paper's too thick. But today I'm using my 140-pound arches. So yes, I could have used my light box. I don't know what I was thinking. See, I was just in such a camoufle trying to get myself going here. Yes, I could have used my light box. Not with my 300-pound paper, but with this paper, yes. All right, so here's I've got my iPad open, so I have some nice clear pictures. I am using some clay shapers, they're called, silicone, because I'm too lazy to wash brushes. I did find my toothpicks when I was cleaning up. They were in another area of my room, but I forgot to put them on my desk, but I do know where they are. So that's good. The nice thing about this graphics masking fluid is that you can use the heat gun with it, and I have never had a problem with it picking up. Oh, hold on. Or tearing my paper, even with using the heat gun. Sorry, I just have to go in and pick up. A little more came off than I needed. I think I'm going to get my smaller one here. Just a moment. Uh-oh. What am I knocking off? Oh. Okay. And you have to make sure it dries very quickly. So you have to make sure you keep wiping your tip. This whole line along here has light on it. Where's that circle? There it is. Ugh. right. Bye, Dee Dee. Thanks for dropping in. Have a great afternoon. Probably has to go get supper ready for hubby. Ooh. Oh, Gene, that was close. Almost dropped right on my paper. You can always just let it dry and pick it up if it ends up somewhere where it's not supposed to be. Easy enough. Yes, I'm using Graphics Masking Liquid Masking Fluid. Grafix. Here's the bottle. Incredible White Mask Liquid Frisket by Graphics. Grafix. And I like it because you can use heat gun to dry it if you need it to dry faster than it's drying on its own. And they're silicone tips, Elaine. They're silicone tips, but they're called clay shapers. People who work with clay use them to create shapes with their clay. So that's what they're called, clay shapers. Oh, that's more than I wanted on that one. That's a smaller one. And so is this. That was on the wrong line. Okay, so this will dry and it's kind of like a rubber. When it dries, it's a nice rubber layer. And so it protects the paper underneath these areas so that I can contain my areas of my white. And I know some colorists will go in, and I have been known to as well, but I would rather, I'm trying to learn the purest, style watercolor at the moment before I go breaking too many rules, because I've only been at it a year, just teaching myself. Oh, gotta go back and get some. It's all dried on my. Hey, CB. You've only missed the boring parts so far. They can, Elaine. I'm an old dog, and I've learned a lot in the last year. So, hey, if I can do it, anybody can. I grew up knowing my older sister has Dee Dee-like talent. She was born just knowing how to draw. And she used to sit with the Teen Beat and Tiger Beat magazines and her HB pencil from school. And she would draw those stars and every shadow on every tooth and every hair was exactly in place. Of course, that became a huge issue for her because she is such a perfectionist. Like I am too, but she's even worse, believe me. And okay. All right, I think I've got my brightest. Oh, I should. This actually is going to get, but I think for now, I think I will protect it for now. It's actually like a light pink, but I think I'm going to protect it just to make sure I don't accidentally mess it up. Since I have some left and I can't pour it back into my, I might be able to. It's not really getting goopy yet. I don't like to pour it back in my bottle. Oh, darn it all to heck. Ah, I'm doing it on the wrong side because I've got my watermark. Dang it. Oh, well, I guess I'm not going to be selling this. I might be able to get rid of it, if I do prints. Dang it. Dang it, dang it, dang it. I'm not sure if I like these brush holders yet. It's still maybe not the kind of thing going. All this drawing and masking, but at least you guys can chat and keep each other busy. Most of it's dry, but I'm just going to make sure it's still a wee bit tacky in some of the thicker spots. So that I just did. I won't start up on that one anyway. So I think I'll start on this red one. Yeah, the last time I did it, I did this green one over here. So maybe I'll start on the red one today. See how far I get. Okay, so, all right, now I have my painting on a bit of an, oh, gosh. Oh, that was my hair dryer. Just knocked it off the shelf. All right. Okie dokie. Smoky. Just make sure these ones are dry because this is the one I'm going to work on. Yeah. All right. So I think it's wet enough to pour a little bit of this back in the container. It's not goopy. Yes, it is. It's a little thick. I poured out too much. So I'm going to pour it in my coffee throwaway cup here. In the garbage, most of it. Leave a thin layer to dry and it'll just pull out. Okay. So I need my reds. So I'm using M grams. So the reds I'm going to use are Pyro Red, Permanent Alizarin Crimson. Then I'm using Azo Orange, dulled down with some Burnt Umber. And I'm going to use Lemon Yellow for under my orange parts for that glow. Plus there is some lemon yellow in there anyway. But I'm also going to use a little gamboge to warm up some of the yellow parts and the orange parts. Okay. And then there is also in the center area, or around the center, there is also some ultramarine blue, but it's dulled down a little bit with just a little bit of burnt umber again to dull it down. I use either burnt umber or burnt sienna to neutralize my reds and my blues. Okay. Or sometimes I use sap green with my reds to neutralize them. It just depends on the color I want. But today I'm not going for browns. So I'm not going to neutralize with the red with green. I'm going to neutralize it with the with some burnt umber. All right. Darken it. And here we go. Time to start painting. My Zen brushes by Royal Lang Nickel. This is a squirrel mix, my round size 11. Some of these keep a really good point and some don't. And I don't know if it's, I don't paint that much that they should be wearing out already. So I'm going to start with this roundish center spot. And so I'm going to pre-wet it. And like I said, this is 100% cotton, 140 pound by Arches. I cut it down from a 22 by 30 page. And as you can see, I didn't do a very good job of washing my brush out last time. So that's one wetting. I am going to do a second. I just realized I need to grab my towel here. All right, so let's mix. Don't use that big one to mix. Come on, why are you not working? Right, there we go. And this one needs to be cleaned out because I got green in my lemon yellow. And I don't want that right now. I want lemon yellow. All right. So I'm mixing some red. Oh, hold on. I need to make a spot for my ultramarine here. So you can see how bright that ultramarine is. And I do not need it that bright at all. So I am going to go in with burnt umber. Burnt sienna works as well, but burnt umber is just a little bit less. So it's just a slightly better color just to darken that up. Okay. So I'm going to go and do another wet. As you can see, I had some yellow in this, and I should have given it a better cleaning, but anyway, that's all right. I'll go in and do another wet because it's all soaked in. So I'm still getting some buckling, but that's fine. It will flatten out when I'm done and take off the tape. That doesn't bother me at all. All right, so I'm going in. All of this section, the first layer, is going to be my Pyrrole Red. You can see how much that loves to move. Look at that. Isn't that fun? I love doing wet and wet. Try and do a somewhat even wash here if I can. Try and keep those edges all about the same amount of water. And remember, it will dry lighter. This is just my base layer here. I need to get some orange into it for my next layer. Actually, I'm not going to add orange in it. I'm going to make it a little more orange by using my gamboge. Okay, bye, Judy. I'll try not to talk about you too much since you're still listening. Okay. And try and fix my line around the edge here so I didn't get it very. And this is cut glass, so there are areas where there's definitely a, Some places there's fuzzy and some places there's all right, now I think before I do, I'm going to dry this, but before I do my next layer of the lighter red, I'm going to put my darks in. I like to do my base layer, and then I like to go in and do my darkest darks. Oh my gosh, I missed. How did I miss that? Oh no, I'm going to have to lift it. Let's cross our fingers. I'm going to have to lift it and then try and put some masking fluid in. I drew it. How come I didn't paint it in? I know I drew it. But I can't see my pencil line now. Darn it. But I have to dry it before I can try and pull it. Oh, you're buffering, Dar? My upload speed is fine. I tested my upload speed and it was like over 50. So it could be the server that you're connecting to, Dar. Anyone else getting a lot of buffering? Oh, really? Huh. I don't know. When I went in and looked at all the specs, it said my setup, it said, was fine. Okay, CB, thanks. Well, you're likely to get it occasionally, I guess. Also, make sure you're watching your computer. I have terrible luck watching on Firefox. It doesn't matter who I'm watching. If I'm using Firefox, it buffers all the time, whether it's Ustream or whether it's YouTube when I'm watching a live. Recordings are fine in Firefox. I use it all the time for my recordings. That's a little too stiff, that one. There, this one. No. Here's my favorite scrubby one. Where'd you go? No, but here's a good one. I don't know what this is. I hope this Pyro Red picks up better than the Alizarin Crimson does. I'm not sure. If it doesn't, I'll have to use white in the end. To use white to pick it up okay. But I don't know if it's going to go right back to paper or not. Maybe. Oh, nice. Pretty good, actually. Thanks, Debbie. Okay, thank you, Norma. Okay, I am going to put some masking fluid in that spot, though, because I really don't want to not mistake again, because that's a very bright highlight. Okay. All right, I'm just going to dry that. Lena, welcome back. Well, you know, he may as well be arting since he does all that die cutting for you, Joan. Lena. If only, eh? If only. It's almost dry, guys. It's a little goopy, but it should still protect it. Okay. All right. So now let's see my shapes here. Put my big one up to dry. Okay, so now I'm going to do my darkest dark, which means I have my alizarin crimson. Oh. Turn it. How did I still end up with, I guess because I spritzed the water. So I'm going to take my alizarin crimson. Jeez Louise. Make sure the only time I go right from my palette onto my page is when I'm doing details and I need thick paint. Otherwise, I make sure it gets mixed with some water, get that pigment mixed. And a little burnt umber just to neutralize it a little bit. Make it a little darker. Okay. All right. So now it should be good for my first layer. Okay. So So I'm doing wet on dry here. Try and get the shape first. Just the first layer. Some areas here I still need to put my lighter orange in, so orangey red. So one thing that lights is, oh, and I missed another one right there. I'm going to have to do it in white. Dang it. So you can see I'm leaving a little shapes there. And this part that I'm doing in dark is not nearly as dark, so I'm going to use a lot more water with it. Because that's how you change. Lights and darks. All right, and then there's a few areas up here. So when you put your lights up against your darks, that's when you get your darks looking nice and dark and your lights looking nice and popped, nice and light. So I'm just drawing in these darker shapes up here so I'll know where they are when I'm adding even more detail. Now this is alizarin crimson, so I'm probably not going to have as much luck lifting this. How on earth I was so careful. How did I miss getting my dots in? Wonder if these will, I bet these bamboo ones, I bet they'll pick up nice. if they hold enough water. That's the thing. They're fairly stiff, but do they hold enough water? Clay shaper. I don't know if it'll work or not now. Well, for goodness sakes. Let's see what I've got up here in my acrylic set. See if I've got a small. Oh, here's one. This should work. See, I was trying to move along, trying to start painting, and I totally messed up. But hey, life with art is never perfection. Well, not for me anyway. Okay, I'm going to have to hold right down near the edge of the brushes here to get them to. I just don't want to use acrylic paint if I don't have to, because I don't want to make it a mixed media. I mean, there's nothing against it. If I have to, I'll use it, but I would have rather done it right in the first place. Yeah, I'm just going to have to try and do it with white because it's too hard to pick up here. I'll try my new white. I bought some Shinhan titanium white to see if it's any more opaque than my M Graham. You have to do quite a few layers to get it to truly be opaque. Now, Paula has to work, and Carrie, finances are an issue. Unfortunately, same for me. The dollar exchange is just too much. The first year I went because I had enough air miles points that my flight was free, so then I could afford it. So what I'm going to do, so that I don't forget these spots, is I am going to put on. Oh, just a moment, guys. Just a second. Someone's coming to pick up some things, so I will be right back. Sorry. Oh, gosh. I apologize. I didn't know it was going to be that long. A fellow teacher in the district came by to pick up 3 boxes of, and my frisket was left open. Dang it. Now I may have to order some more frisket. Yes, a fellow teacher came by to pick up 3 boxes of stuff. I'm sure you amused yourselves. Yes, I know for kids here. Then the teachers go Monday and Tuesday for hay. So he's going to go through the box, hair out, but he doesn't want let other teachers go through. Anyway, since I will never be going back, someone may as well make use of my things. I really have no idea how I missed all the masking fluid in this section. Honestly, I have no idea how I missed it. Okay. Hi, Z. I'm going to have to edit this video. I can't leave a half hour of be right back sign in this video. I'm not sure how to do it because it automatically uploads, so I'm not sure how to go about editing it. Anyway, I'll figure it out. Jim Crochet, time in a bottle. If I could save time in a bottle, the thing that I like to do is to save every day like a do 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 do. Alina. Well, if people don't figure out to drag the button forward, or they'll just sit and read all your chat. Oh, finished my coffee. And of course, you can't just say, oh, here, take your boxes, goodbye. Haven't seen him in a while, so we had to catch up. He's like, are you sure you're not going to need it for teaching privately? And I said, oh, no. I said, all my when I retire anyway, so I'm just 4 years early. Yes, I missed the first hour of Z's stream too, the first hour and 10 minutes, because my cousin came over to pick up a few things and then we ended up chatting. as we always do. That doesn't take too long to dry. Okay. All right, let's get back to it here. So now I have to add a nice layer of my red, but I need to mix in some of my gamboge yellow. And I need to do a little spritz because it's drying up here. Little gamboge to orange it up a little bit. I am going to actually do a couple of spots where it's brightest with the gamboge itself. I think I need my larger brush to wet. And I know I did not dry that yellow down before I added my wet, but that's okay. I'm going to go in, make sure I have a good amount of yellow in those spots again. Gamboge. What's really interesting is in acrylic paint, the yellows are always quite transparent. However, in watercolor, they are very often I'm not doing very well with my edge here. In watercolor, the yellows are the ones that are more opaque. So it's very interesting. I find that a very interesting fact. Oh, I need to put some yellow down there on its own. I missed that spot here. John Denver, oh yes. Take me home. Country roads. Apologize. My voice is still not back to its normal self, unfortunately. It's very sad for me. Very, very sad. In these spots, I try and make sure I use curved strokes if the glass is cut round, because it helps with smoothness and direction. But there are places where you definitely have to have the straight lines. Part that's outside, that's a little darker anyway, so that's not going to be. Oh, Norma, my singing is so horrible right now. Plaid is coming out with watercolor paint. Real easy. I probably won't buy any more student grade watercolors. I don't mind using them on cards and stuff, but I really have enough for that purpose. That's what I use my Peerless for. I don't know. I just love my M. Grahams and my Shinhans so much I cannot even see. I cannot even foresee me wanting to use those other paints, because I don't do, like, I can see like you and Debbie and even Dee Dee do a lot more mixed media than I do. And so you guys make good use of those other I'm going to have to go in with some more when this dries. All right, I have to dry this layer. Keep going. Yeah, Pebio came out with watercolor, but no, it didn't get very good reviews either. But once again, it depends on your use, what you want to use. You cannot expect to take a student grade paint and expect to be able to do with it what you can with M. Grahams and your good paper. It does make a difference. I'm not saying, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you can't do great paintings with those student grade paints and whatever water. I mean, Lindsay makes it work. Lindsay does great paintings with that. But she has the skills to use those papers, and when she uses those for her kind of sketchy or loose watercolors, mixed media stuff, that's not my style. And once I found the good 100% cotton paper and my M. Grahams and my Shinhan premium PWC watercolors, they're top of the line artist ones, I can't go back. Not with the kind of painting I do. Now, if I'm doing cards or stamped images or whatever, different story. but I just kind of painting that I want to do, I can't do with those other paints, right? You can't say they don't wet very easily. Yeah. CB, you can fix that a little bit by wet them and work, add a little glycerin. Add a little glycerin and try and mix it up, and that will help with that problem. So I've totally got this in the wrong spot. But it doesn't matter. It's my painting. I still have it. I have it too far over this way, but whatever. I'll fix it when I do this part because this dark part's not nearly big enough. So that's all right. That's my next step. My next step. So I have to go a little closer here, but that's okay. I'll do it. I'm going to wet it with this. So I'm going to wet the whole thing again for my next layer. And no, it doesn't necessarily move what you put down. Not necessarily, not with these kinds of watercolors. You can move if I scrub hard or whatever, but it's not going to totally. So I'm going in and I'm going to move this dark color over just a little bit here. The dark here. And I'll get that line later. So I'm going to go along the light part with the dark color because that'll help the light pop and it'll help the dark look dark. And it will spread a little. The alizarin crimson doesn't move quite as much, I find, as the pyrrole red. It does some, but not. So alizarin crimson. Darkened with some burnt umber. Is someone supposed to come on after me today, guys? I'm not sure. Got some movement there, but that's okay. Now I have to go back in with my yellow and add some more brighter line down there. I'm trying to, I'm going to have to let this dry for a minute to do the final touches, but I can add some more dark up here. And then All right, so this part in here has to be nice and dark right here. All right, so that's starting to dry, so I can't add any more at the moment. So I need to let it dry and then go back in and try and finish my darks. Heat gun. Well, didn't get very far on this today, did I? Hey, Kimberly. I had a large, I didn't get much done today because I had a half-hour break where a fellow music teacher in the school district here dropped by to pick up some of my goodies I was giving away now that I'm retired. No need of them sitting. I've held on to them. I'm not going back to it, so may as well give them away, right? So you didn't really miss all that much, Kimberly. I drew it, put on masking fluid, missed a whole bunch of spots where I should have put masking fluid, but didn't. Oh, gosh. Anyway, gotta love it. So don't forget, if you say something and use in the chat, it puts an orange box around it for me. So then I'll be more likely to see your comment. And for those of you who are new to our chat, you will notice that sometimes people speak in all caps. We ignore the all caps is yelling rule in our stream community, as it does make it easier for the streamer to see when someone is specifically talking to them. Oh, this 100% cotton paper takes a lot longer to dry than others. Oh, nice, Kimberly. On a road trip. I forgot about that. Nice. Oh, still a little cool. Use the back of your hand so you don't get oils on your paper from the fronts of your hands. Messed up stream today. I don't know. All right, Marie. See you. I know my times are both at supper time. I don't know. I may have to change my stream times. I don't know. I seem to be on when everybody's making supper. I don't know. Maybe I should change my Thursday stream to like 5 Eastern or something, should I? What do you guys think? instead of doing an afternoon one. That way people will be home from work. They may be done supper. Or 6 Eastern, I mean. Not 5, 6 Eastern. I don't know. I don't seem to get the people. I mean, I don't expect to get as many people as Dee Dee gets at her stream, but not that I mean, I'll stream regardless, even if it's only 3 or 4, but you know, I'd like to, the more the merrier. Oh, it does, CB? Yeah, okay, all right. I'll stick with this time. I just have to, I have to be more reliable. I have to hit my 1 o'clock time and do it. Just seems that it's always Mondays and I don't know. Oh well, what can you do? All right, details. All right, this should be my final. So I'm going to do a little bit of a thicker mix with my gamboge to really get this highlight painted in. I may have to go with I really may have to go with my lemon yellow. Let's try that and see what happens. Maybe too much, but we'll see. You have to blend it out. Now don't freak out because it's yellow. Oh, for goodness sakes, Jean. Just putting that there, and then I'm going to go over it with the gamboge because that lemon yellow is more opaque, and that will give me a base to mix in my gamboge. And so now I'm turning my page so that I can go in with my darkened alizarin crimson. And this is because I messed up that shape and really had to fix it. And so now this I'm going in with my orange to try and blend it down for this shape. All right, so now I have a line that goes dark right along there. And I need to put in these gamboge highlights again right along here. Okay. Oh, for goodness sakes. Just going in while it's still wet with a little gamboge to get some of those highlights in there. But it's subtle. And then there's some areas that are even darker, so I'm going to add a little bit more. Burnt umber. All right, so now I need to add a little more dark over here. I was up late last night, which didn't help matters this morning for me getting up because I started designing a stencil that I wanted for a specific project. And man, when I do that, I absolutely cannot stop. Ugh, drives me crazy. All right, let's start getting some of the next color around. There is a cast of olive green. So I'm going to use my sap green. With burnt umber. Let's see. I've got some bits of paper here. That's pretty good. I think. That's pretty good, I think. Bye, Z. Jen starts at 9 Eastern tonight. So that's the green area. And that moves right into the blue. For some reason, I didn't draw the blue, so I need to be careful here. This is that point. Okay, so let me draw this first, because right here, what did I do? Let me pick that up. Hold on. I don't want that paper towel. That's for something else. That tissue. Let's see if I can clean this up. I don't know what happened. I'm sure I went into my blue, and I have green on my brush. I obviously wasn't watching very closely, was I? Okay. Let's try that again. Let me just make sure that I've got... Okay. All right. Okay, so here, the blue goes farther out. And then it goes into some alizarin crimson to make some purple here. Blend. Cleaned out brush to blend that. And I need some straight ultramarine for a bright spot here. Right in the middle. So I'm going in while it's wet. Oh, geez, I just went into my purple. And then I'll go in with my other. See, it's green again. Ugh. I think my green's leaking into my ultramarine bowl here. That's what I get for putting my green up on top. So let me put the darker blue and I'll have to go back in with some more of the pure ultramarine. And I'll go in with a little more of the alizarin crimson to try and get this edge a little more blended here. Draw that blue down into the red. Give us a kind of dull purple, which is exactly what it is there. There we go. Need to mix some more of my ultramarine here. With a little less umber for my first go around here. I think it's because the little bit green. That's why I'm seeing some green when it doesn't stay mixed, I think is what's happening. Okay. And that needs much more water here. That's supposed to be in the green part. I did not get that done very well. That's okay. I'll make it my own. It's just inspired by, right? Oh gosh. Hold on. Made a mistake here. I need to fix it. Where's that nice brush I had that fixed well? There's a lot of detail in this Murano glass. Oh, sorry. I apologize. Let me zoom in, actually. There. All right. So it's almost my supper time here. Okay, it's not quite dry enough. I need to dry this. So yes, I started saying I was up late last night creating a diagonal plaid layering stencil set. And I started it, and that was my big mistake in the first place, was starting it. I am going to clean one of my little areas here because I want to mix some alizarin crimson with some ultramarine to get some nice kind of dark purple here for the point of this shape here for the darks. I just took a baby wipe. So I want to take some of my alizarin crimson mix and some ultramarine. I think I went a little too dark, maybe. I don't know. Maybe just a little bit more. Let me test it. All right, so I've got a nice plum. I think I need a little bit more. Oh, sorry, got a nice plum, but I think I need a little more blue in it to make it a little darker. More ultramarine. There, that's better. Just for the very, just to get the very tip of this dark. Okay, and while this is wet, and I need to drop a little bit more alizarin crimson in that. Okay, now the inside of this needs some green. Some of my olive green. so much detail. It's hard to stop. All right, so now I need to make kind of a nice light, kind of, there's a glare, almost like a fog sort of thing, but it's a glare. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along that line and I'm going to wet it and pull up some of the color. And I may have to add a nice light layer of white on that to help get that kind of foggy glass feeling as well, but we'll see how well this works. Okay, I think I'm going to have to put a layer of white on that to help that feeling. Very thin. So it's my don't worry. Oh, I just did that in my clean water. Well, dang it all. Don't worry, it's going to lighten up. I'm going to pull some of it up. It's just to get the line well defined here. I just want it to look like there's okay. All right. You know, guys, I think I'm going to have to stop here over the next couple of days. If tomorrow afternoon, if people are not streaming, I'll come on and stream and work on this. I just seem to, my mojo just doesn't seem to be, anyway, my brain is all over the place. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to leave it here. I apologize for the long delay in the middle. Just fast forward through it if I don't get it, cut out. Anyway. Yeah, thanks, CB. So I think, thanks, Joan. Thanks for coming. I think tomorrow's not a Barb stream, is it? Tomorrow afternoon? So I think I'll come on. I'll try and come on tomorrow afternoon at 2 Eastern. And because that's that's Barb's usual time is 2 Eastern. And tomorrow's not a Barb stream day. She streams the first Mondays. There's one of my other glass. That's my last Murano glass one that I did. Works better if it's, let me zoom out because it works better if you're, doesn't work as well when you're up close. It looks much better when you're far away from it. So, thanks, Carol. All right. So, if you want, come on over tomorrow afternoon. If not, if someone else goes on, no worries. I'll just stay on and record and post it up on YouTube. I just don't want to leave it sitting here for days and days and days and days and not work on it. So, anyway, thanks, everyone.